It's October 28th, 2020. I'm at the Knapp's Garden, and I wanted to do a last update. I'm going to call today is basically the end of our garden, maybe tomorrow, because we're supposed to get snow on Friday. Cold rain and snow, so I'm going to come cut what we can here, and then leave the rest to fend for itself. But October 28th, what we still have growing here, there's still some nasturtiums that are still green. The marigolds are pretty much done. There's some dill that regenerated on its own, resprouted, some little baby cabbages. We're going to cut those and take them home. The cilantro, we're going to take that home. And here's some carrots. I really don't think the carrots are going to survive this. It's supposed to get down to the teens on Friday night or Thursday night. I can't remember. I don't think they're going to survive. The lettuces won't. We'll take those home. Some giant dill. I mean, it's giant only in that the plants are big. We don't really use dill, but it just comes up on its own. This lettuce looks great. The peas did not really have much of a chance to grow. I might put some leaves mulching around those carrots, and let's see, maybe they'll survive the winter. I don't know. Maybe so. There's some giant plants of kale. Those have grown miraculously all summer. Those were the kale that started in the cold frame back in March. And here they are still growing. We have not really cut those very hard because we've had so much kale. A couple leeks also started back in March. I'll pull the rest of those today. And here's the cold frame that we repaired just a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, to try to get some vegetables to survive. Oh, and I can see the lettuce here caked up against the side. I don't think that's gonna survive. Oh well. Let's see if we can take a peek in there and see how it looks. So we have some lettuce, cilantro, I forget what else is in there. A cabbage. What I'm gonna do is close off this end here with I guess I'll pull that plastic over and seal that over and put some leaf mulch around the side for that cold night coming up, and maybe it'll survive. Maybe those plants in there will survive, and then I'll pull it back if we get a couple more sunny days. These are the strawberries. So the strawberries have been, oh, there's one poking out that didn't get quite mulched, a couple green leaves. They got leaf mulch spread on top of them, and then some straw, and then these little pieces of wood here to hold the straw down so it doesn't blow away. And then this bed here is the garlic. It actually looks like some of the garlic started to sprout up there. Man, that comes up fast. Those green, I don't know if those will get frozen off the top or not. I have a bunch more leaves, so maybe I'll try to drop some more leaves on there. And what we have going on here is a repair of the fence. So the fence line used to be right here with this post, and for years we had about 1.5 feet bed on the outside of the fence, and the thinking was we could put some stuff growing on both sides of the fence and still have a place to plant kind of extra trellis space. But that didn't really work well because anything on the outside of the fence the animals would get, and I could only plant onions there so many years in a row. Actually, they never really grew very well, so we moved this fence, in the process of moving it out in line with the other ones. So that might mean next year we move some of these chives. In here, we're proceeding to just use this soft soil here to bury the compost until the ground's too hard. These mums here, looks like we've got 4 really nice mums that were salvaged out of the compost last year, and they've really taken. That's great. This fence here is so low that these lettuces and peas over here were growing really nicely, but it's so low the deer just stepped over and ate everything. Ate those. Same within here. They've been chomping down on those kales that I was trying to establish, hopefully going into next year. And then there's another lettuce and some cilantro down there we'll grab. And this is the bed that grew our tomatoes this year. I've been adding wood chips and leaves to try to add some organic material for next year. All right, and here's our next bed of garlic. So I like to plant 2 patches of garlic just in case something happens, although garlic's one of our more reliable things we plant. some lettuce, a couple beets. We'll pull those beets. I don't know how big they are right now. And those onions, I don't even know where those onions came from, but we'll take those home. What else is growing in here? More kale. The kale mix is really nice. I really like the diversity of the kale, but the problem is it's a mix. So some of them grow bigger than others, and you get different proportions. So we really like I think that's the dinosaur kale, and we really like this curly leaf kale because it's crisper. The leaves are more crisp, and it adds a little crunchier texture when we make kale chips. For the other purposes, the kale doesn't really matter, like the type of leaves. These ones aren't. I don't know what kind that is. I don't like them as much because they're so dissected. And then those larger flat ones, they're fine for soups and stuff, but when we're making kale chips, they don't come out as nicely. What else? We got a bunch of cilantro coming in here. There's those beets. Hopefully there's something on there to eat. And you see all the wood chips. I've just been trying to throw in wood chips so they can mix in, decompose, add that organic material and kind of the slow decomposition. And that's about it. There's not much growing right now. We had the early frosts in September and killed everything off. All the sensitive plants, our peppers were grown in here, tomatillos, tomatoes, they all died early. So these